Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 2 of Making Mixes with FL Studio. Let's get straight into it. In this video, I'll be covering the following: how to quickly make your own DIY a cappella instrumental using a free program called Splitter, which runs on your PC and you don't need internet for it. Then I'll also be teaching you how to make your first mix on FL Studio using the acapella and the instrumental you just splitted. So what is Splitter? Splitter is a program that I use to split my tracks into an acapella and an instrumental. So basically how it works is you just take an original track, you load it into the program, and the program will split that track into an acapella and instrumental that you can use in your mixes. So where do you get Splitter? Splitter, you can get it from the link I've provided in the description below. When you click on the link, it will take you to this website. When you are on this website, just need to scroll down until you see download zip file. They show you the file size, and please just be aware that Intel Pentium and Celeron CPUs cannot run Splitter. If you are using this type of CPU, I will leave a link for you where you can do it online. Also works the same, where you just load the track and it also split the track for you, giving you a cappella instrumental which you can then save to your desktop. So the alternative I can give when you are unable to install Splitter on your desktop is to use an online website that I will leave the link in the description. It's called Acapella Extractor. Basically how it works is you just load the song here and it will give you the acapella, and when you want the instrumental, you're just gonna click here on need the instrumental only, visit remove vocals. When you click on remove vocals, it will take you to this website where you can load the same song and it will give you the instrumental which you can also save to your desktop. So now that you are able, I know many of you are wondering and would like to learn where I get my acapellas and instrumentals, or how do I make them. Don't worry about that. I'll go deeper into that, into how I make my own I call them tools, DIY tools, how I get them, and also how I get the studio quality ones. So for now, after we have downloaded Splitter GUI, you will need to extract it. After extracting it, you will get this folder when you access the Splitter GUI. In this folder, you're gonna need to run this application, Splitter GUI. So when you run it, you will get the following window. Just run anyway. So this is how the interface of Splitter looks like. You can separate your song into two parts, which is your vocal, and the accompaniment, which is the instrumental, or you can do it into 4 parts or 5 parts. But for this specific example, we'll be doing it in 2 parts. And what you're gonna just need to do, just change the directory in which you want your output files to be saved to. So I have a folder on my desktop, it's called Splitter, so I'll be saving my files in there. So once you've done that, the only thing you just need to do, just take your tracks and you drop them into Splitter, or you can just click here, or you can select them. So I think let's just rather do that. I have my tracks on the desktop. So these are the 2 tracks I'll be using, the 2.1 track and the master track. When you say open, it will start splitting the tracks into the specified folder that you have, and once it is done, it will give you a notification that the splitting has been completed, and now we can use those splitted acapella and instrumental into FL Studio to start our mix. Now that our program has finished splitting our tracks, it gives us a message which says run complete. Now we can go to the folder that we have set over here, which is set mount to Splitter. I'm gonna open the folder, and here we have our two tracks here, the 2.1 folder and the Maestro. So let's open the 2.1. Don't mind this one, that's already there. So when we open the 2.1, you see that we have our accompaniment and our vocal. It just means our instrumental and a cappella. Let's hear our instrumental. I'm just gonna click on play here, and then I'm just gonna mute this. So it's our instrumental. Just reduce the volume, sorry about that. As you can hear, I just fast forward it. So that's our instrumental. So you can hear the vocals have been removed. Now we just hear our cappella. I'm just gonna play our cappella here. As you can also hear, the instrumental has been removed, so we can use this two tools for our first tutorial on making the mix with FL Studio. So on Maestro we also have the same thing, which is the instrumental and a cappella. And guys, don't worry if your splitter program didn't work, because this program is outdated. They no longer updated. There's a newer program which I will introduce you to it. So for this example, we're just gonna be using the splitter. If it doesn't work, just use the web-based version, which is the acapella extractor. As long as you are able to split any two tracks that you can be able to follow in this example. You don't need to split new tracks if you already have your own instrumental or cappella. So now once we are done with splitting our tracks, now what you're gonna move to the next step, which is to import our songs into FL Studio. Now that we have loaded our songs into the playlist of FL Studio, we need to set their BPM. Why do we need to set their BPM? So they can easily sync and play in sync with one another when you are mixing them together. They must have the same speed when playing together, so they can be in sync. So how do you get the BPM? And this is where Virtual DJ comes in. You're going to launch Virtual DJ, and then you're going to go into our tracks. Yeah, I'm just gonna take two of them. I'm gonna load it into Virtual DJ. So on the left you have our cappella, on the right our instrumental. So here we have 113. So this is our BPM. And remember guys, Virtual DJ is not always 100% correct. Sometimes you might get an incorrect BPM. That's when you're gonna need to either, what can you do? You can either use another software like BPM Analyzer, or what you can do is load the original song, the original song that is splitted, because most likely Virtual DJ will give you the correct BPM of the original song. And it's also easy online to just search for the BPM of the original song and then use that, because when the song is being splitted, the BPM doesn't change or anything, so the BPM remains the same. So now we have our BPMs is 113 for the 2.1 track, and now I'm gonna do the same for this Maestro track over here. I'm gonna take them, drag and drop into Virtual DJ. Here our cappella is 113 as well. So just drop the instrumental and see. So it's also 113. So just to double check, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to load the original song of 2.1, also giving me 113. So that means Virtual DJ was correct. I'm also going to do the same thing with the original track of the Maestro. Just load it, I also get 113. So that confirms that our BPM of the acapella instrumentals is 113. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set all of them to 113. So how do you set it? Just come to this icon next to the name. When you click on it, then you're going to go to fit to tempo. Then you're going to click on type in BPM. Then you're going to say 113, then enter. Then as you can see on the left is stretching our song, 113 stretching it to 115. So we're gonna do the same for all of them. Also gonna do the same for the maestro. And I'm done. So yes guys, for every track that you're gonna drop into the project, you're gonna need to set this BPM. That's the unfortunate part. So you're gonna have to do this for every track that you drop in here. But another tip I can give you with regards to the BPM, if let's say our project was, we set our project BPM to 113, then there was no need for us to set this ones to 113 because the tracks, they have the same BPM as the project BPM. So if you drop in a track that has the same BPM as the project BPM, there's no need to use the fit to tempo. And remember, why do we need to set the BPMs? To make sure that when these tracks we are mixing them together, they can be in sync. And yes, now that we have our instrumentals over here and our capellas down over here, the first thing that I like to do is just to make sure that these tracks are aligned correctly. What I mean by that, as you can see, there are numbers on FL Studio 1 2 3 4 5 and goes on, and there are tag lines, and there's numbers, and that each tag line has 3 lines in between. So just make sure that this first beat of your track, it's here. And how do you zoom in? You can use the page up or page down on your keyboard, or use your mouse wheel to zoom in. So if just make sure it's on the same line, and when it's do that, it's gonna make sure that it's easy for you to make your mixes. So once I've done that, now I know that my track is in sync. I'm ready to mix in my acapellas. So for now, we're just going to move this track. Yeah. So now we are going to focus on our acapellas. So what I want to do is this track, the 2.1, I'm going to mix it with the acapella of the maestro, and also going to mix the maestro instrumental with the acapella of 2.1. So now we're gonna start with the instrumental of 2.1 and the acapella of maestro. So in order for us to easily mix this acapella into the instrumental, we're gonna need to know where the acapella comes in. So the best thing to do, what I normally like to do, is also load the original tracks into FL Studio. So I'm just gonna drop the original track, the original 2 tracks into FL Studio, set their BPM as well. This is 113. And remember guys, there are different ways to set the BPM. I will show you all of them in this tutorial, and just show you one way which I believe is the easiest. There are so many ways which you can set the BPM of the tracks in FL Studio. 113. Since we want to sync the acapella of the maestro track, we are going to use the original track of the maestro track, so we can get to here where the acapella comes in. So what I'm gonna need to do is mute all the other tracks, just to make sure only the original track will be playing, which is this one. I'm also going to line it up, make sure the first beat is on this main line. Once I've done this, now I'm gonna need to listen to where to hear where the acapella comes in. Then after that, I'm gonna take this acapella, make sure I match it with the original track. Once I've done that, now I know where I can put the acapella. Now it will be easy to use the acapella with any other instrumental and making sure that the acapella is not off beat. It will always be on beat. So now what I'm going to do is listen to the track so I can hear where the acapella comes in. Yes, so I'm going to be using that part as a trap. That's the part I want to use, and then I'm going to match it with the acapella. So let's listen. So it starts somewhere here. So what I like to do, like this main lines, I like to use them as a reference. So this is the scissor. You can just come here, slice, just come here, just drag it down to draw a straight line. Basically just split the track into two parts. Yes, so you can hear this part around here is so we're gonna look for the same thing in the acapella and match it with the track. So let's listen to the acapella. So here's the part right here. This is the part that we're looking for. Let's gonna cut this, and when you right click on any of the part, it's going to remove them from the playlist. It doesn't delete the track, but removes it from the playlist. So this first part I don't need. I want the part where it starts to say so right click and delete the part. So now we have our part, and you can also just on our main track remove the part that you don't need. So now we have these two parts. We know where acapella to start. So basically what I'm going to do here, just to make sure the acapella matches the acapella in the main track that they play together. Once I've done that, I've successfully saved my track. Now I can use it anywhere in my playlist. Let's do that. Okay guys, I finally got it. So if you can see, this is all about trial and error. Listen and listen and listen. So once I've done that, now let's listen. You will hear that the acapella and the track, when they play, sound like it's one track. Let's listen. So this is the main track and the acapella both on. Let's listen again. I have muted the instrumental, the main track. Let's play. So yes, so the acapella and the main track are perfectly in sync. So once I've done that, I'm now gonna just to make sure that maybe cut out this part. Now I'm done using the original track. I don't need it. I can just remove it. So also with my acapella, I make sure that I cut it at this main line. So when I cut, now I have this. I have this only. I can drag it wherever I want. Now I'm going to play it where my with my instrumental. Yes. So I'm going to take this, just put it over here. So remember guys, this is just practice and practice and practice, and make more videos for you so you can learn different techniques of how you can do this. You can also use Visual DJ to get to align your tracks with the original. So now let's get to listen to this. So now I'm just going to just stretch this. So remember guys, like when it's like this and you come to the slice and you do this, it just remove this part from the plate, but it doesn't delete it. So you can always just stretch this track again to remove to get the part that you removed. So I'm going to now that I finally got it, let's finally listen to it. Let's go. As you can hear, guys, our track is successfully synced. So I'm going to do the same with this, basically the same thing. I'm going to use the instrumental of the Maestro a cappella and also use the a cappella of the 2.1. Let's go. Now we are going to do the same. So I'm just going to just remove these ones from playlist. You're not gonna need them. I'm going to take this, then I'm going to do that. Yes, I have the original in here. Already dropped the original. Where's the original? So here's the original. Yes, so here's the original. We are going to line it up as we have previously done. Now I'm just going to mute this and look for where the acapella comes in this other track. No, my apologies, I'm using the wrong track I'm supposed to be using. Supposed to be using this track. Apologies. So I'm supposed to be using the 2.1 track. Why? Because the 2.1 a cappella is the one that I want to sing. So I'm just going to line this up. Then I'm going to look for the place where the a cappella comes in. I like that part here. Achaman. I think I can use that. Okay. So let me just come here. Can just mark this. Now I'm gonna mute that. Unmute the acapella. Make sure the achamen on the acapella is in sync with the original track. Let's listen. Perfect. Found it. This works. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to unmute this so I can mess them up. Sometimes you'll get lucky when you zoom in. You can actually see where the wavelengths are, so you can easily match up. As you can see, this big line, there's this, so these are perfectly matched. It's not like the first one, we have to struggle. Let's listen. Perfect, got it. Now we are done with the original. You can remove it and now take our slice, come here, click this part. Now we are ready to use our acapella with any instrumental. So I can just, let me just place this here. Let me play this. Now we are ready to listen. Let's listen. Let's play this.
Samba kimela sasezola
Yes, guys. So as you can hear, that's how our instrumental and our cappella sounds like. So with more practice, different acapellas, different instrumentals, you get to learn the techniques with using different songs. So that's it from me. Catch you on my next video.